A TV show can make an impact on society over the life of that show. Sometimes the impact can be so great that years after the show is canceled, fans are still celebrating the characters, the merchandise, etc. And occasionally, if the show is a big enough hit, it will get syndication, which means that the actors are getting paid on those reruns. But what happens if suddenly the actors are being murdered? What if those actors are puppets? Who gets the money? Does a puppet have a will? So many questions. Does the Happytime murder answer those questions and more? Or are the happiest times in the trailer? Let's talk about it in this review. This movie actually surprised me and confused me, and I'll go ahead and explain. The story is about the puppet cast of an old children's TV show slowly being murdered off one by one. And a former puppet cop, now private investigator, is being framed for those murders. And he doesn't realize that the newest job he's taken is actually leading him into this murder mystery as prime suspect number one. However, as the story unfolds, he quickly realizes the danger that he's in, and with the help of his old human partner, played by Melissa McCarthy, they hope to clear his name and solve the mystery. Pretty solid stuff so far. Let's dive deeper. Early in the story, it is established that he and his old human partner are not on good terms or good standing. Previous in their relationship, while they were partners, she was being held at gunpoint by a puppet thug, and he was trying to shoot the puppet thug to let her get away. He misses, and the bullet goes past them and actually ends up killing an innocent bystander behind them who falls to the ground and dies in his young daughter's arms. Pretty tragic stuff. However, his human partner believes deep down inside that he intentionally missed because he didn't want to kill a fellow puppet, thus resulting in her injury and the distrust that grows from that incident. So that's some emotional baggage for sure. And by the third act of the film, we discover that the girl who actually has to hold her father as he's dying turns out to be the criminal mastermind. She's the one actually going through the story, killing puppet after puppet, because she is actually married to the only human on the show. So by killing all of the other puppets, one of which is the brother to the puppet PI, she and her human wife will get all of the millions from the syndication. We should also go ahead and note here that the human that she's married to is actually the love interest to the PI in this story. So let's recap real quick. So she holds her dying father, then she grows up. Kills the PI's brother because the PI was actually the cop that killed her father, steals his girl, tries to turn the entire police department against him, also tries to kill him, and then is about to run away with millions of dollars. Pretty diabolical. So the story is constructed incredibly well. And all of the puppets in this film look unique and they look pretty awesome. As the story progresses, we wander through Los Angeles with everybody, and we get to see the different puppets taking on different roles, different jobs, different personalities, different looks, etc. Again, puppet design, story construction, really well done. Now let's get into the confusing part of this story for me, because that would be the writing for the dialogue and the human actors. Terrible. Did I laugh at some of the jokes? Absolutely I did. Out loud and a few times more than I expected I would. Did Maya Rudolph and Melissa McCarthy deliver performances that outshined the other human actors in this film? Yup. Outside of McCarthy and Rudolph, the other human actors in this film felt like they just kind of walked on set, delivered their lines with whatever emotion they were feeling that day, and left. It was noticeably bad. But back to the dialogue, because the dialogue felt like it was supposed to be a combination of two things. That 1960s to 70s cop drama, like go back and check out the old Dragnet TV series, and then something else entirely. I'm not quite certain if they were trying to achieve some type of like modern humoristic style, but it just didn't work whatever they were going for. So there were these scenes where characters are being described, or the locations of places are being described, or kind of what the day looks like is being described, that literally feels like it was ripped right out of those cop dramas, which was very cool. But then we kind of venture into the other side of the writing where it gets confusing, and I'm not quite sure if they were trying to deliver ridiculous lines and ridiculous dialogue to emphasize just how ridiculous this movie is actually supposed to feel. Or it's entirely possible they were trying to be clever and they weren't trying to be ridiculous, but in my opinion failed at reaching that goal. The Happytime Murders is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am going to recommend you check this out once it hits Redbox or your preferred video streaming service. Be advised, people of the interwebs, this is an R-rated raunchy comedy to the extreme. They are absolutely able to get away with some very wild moments because they're using puppets, not actual people, for some of those scenes. This film is absolutely not something to watch when the kids are around. You have been warned. However, if you can laugh at some very R-rated, raunchy humor coming from puppets, you will not be disappointed with some of the jokes in this film. Plus, as stated previously in this review, the story is structured really well and the puppets all look great. So for these reasons, the Happytime Murders is getting at least one high five from this guy. Happytime Murders is playing at your local movie theater right now. Go check out Crazy Rich Asians instead.